stretch feed, and in comes Nichols on a breakaway. Audrey Nichols in on Carroll, scores! Chapelski shorthanded, right in on goal, to the net, scores! Shorthanded goal for Haley Chapelski.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to day one of the 2025 War for the Roses. Our coverage here on HN Live rolling right along. We've got the BC Junior Lady Canucks and Team Minnesota next to take the ice here at the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall. So glad you could be part of our continuing coverage here on HN Live. My name is Grayson Knutson. This should be an interesting one. Team Minnesota and the BC Junior Lady Canucks always put in decent teams into these events. Good programs here. They're always looked at as some of the favorites, although there are 3 Minnesotan teams here, so maybe there's a little bit of a talent dilution. Sun is shining brightly here at West Edmonton Mall, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for some of the players. A lot of them are wearing the eye black to prevent the glare, the goalies in particular. Team Minnesota has just one goalie on their roster. That is Kayla Eaton, 23. She is between the pipes, and obviously BC Junior Lady Canucks were led onto the ice by number 30, Violet Stanley, and she will go in between the pipes to start for Team BC. Team Minnesota in the predominantly black uniforms, a little bit of purple and white trim, and the Junior Lady Canucks in those old school Vancouver Canucks uniforms, the flying skate. Here we go, Minnesota and BC underway here. Flipped in by the Junior Lady Canucks behind the net of Eaton. BC on the forecheck, 86, Katie Zhang. And now skating away for Minnesota is 18, Elena Nolander. Nolander's shot is blocked as Ivy Brine back doing the defending. Number 88 gets some help from 44, Kate Cuttaford. Oh, sorry, 43, Cuttaford. Flipped up by Bliss and into the offensive zone. Canucks making some changes. Off the bench is Sienna Yu, number 8. Yu had it taken away by Brindley Bundy. Yu still battling with Bundy, and now some help from Palmer Prosser. 9 in black. Puck squirts out. Yu out front. Williams digging around forward, and now it's flung out and into the bench by Minnesota. Emmy Donahue put it out of play. So for those unfamiliar, we are going to play 3 15-minute periods. All stop time. There will be no floods between any of the periods as we try to stay on schedule here. We've played 3 games. We're already about 20 minutes behind. So we're going to keep everything to the bare minimum here. A look. Had it taken away from her, and Evelyn Volkers gets it back to center. Yu around for Williams. Elise Williams ahead for Zoe. A look to the net, and it's steered away by Eaton. Rebound picked up by Sydney Christian. Christian is dispossessed by Williams. Now Yu's pass is blocked. Yu tried to drop that one off. Dupuis at the point. That was off a leg and goes wide. Piper Dupuis took that shot. Volkers working here with Addison Preston. Preston forward, Adriana Stevens over the line. Stevens wearing 77. Had that one poked off her stick, just one too many white shirts. Maeve McDonough around the net. Maeve McDonough losing out, and now it's Harper Redden for BC. Up for Yu. Yu in quite the battle there along the boards. Now we'll look for Prosser. Dropped it back for Bundy. Bundy wearing the number 96 in front, swing and a miss there as Violet Stanley in the BC net, watching, waiting for the first shot on goal against her. off the boards, but Bundy able to keep it in as Annalyn Burney not able to clear. Middle of the ice, swept downwards by Yu, and that one's wide of the goal, so we get a whistle. 12.5 to go in the first period. Face-off will be to Stanley's left. Line centered by Addison Preston for Minnesota. Prosser's shot is off a leg. Skitters to the far boards and moved ahead by Diana Wong. Wong on the forward check, up against Christian. Elle Hardwick. Preston up the boards. Slowed up there by Sailor Benzie. Christian near side for McDonough. McDonough working in with Preston. McDonough's pass across for Prosser and slammed behind the net once again. There's McDonough and Preston. Preston back to the point. Hardwick lets it fly. Saved by Stanley. Big rebound, and that was a big rip, and it's off the outside of the post. Hardwick will play it down towards Preston. Preston to the net. Tipped away there and tight by Serena Beauchamp. A little bit of time here for Burney. Off the boards, and it did just come out. McDonough played it offside. And so a whistle, 11:27 to go here in period number 1. Shots 2-0 for the Junior Lady Canucks. I think they've got those shots on the wrong side. Beauchamp. Cuttaford. And dumped in there by Benzie. Played behind the net by Eaton. Eaton gave it away, and she recovered nicely. Made the save as it jumps away from Cuttaford, pardon me, and she's got to backtrack. Cuttaford again. Working with Beauchamp. Behind the goal, pressure there from Donahue. Swept around the boards. Bundy holds it in on the far side. And now Avery Bliss streaking up the right-hand wing for BC. Bliss forced out wide to the middle, and a glove save. A nice one from Eaton. Her best of the game so far. Face-off here between Williams and Preston. Controlled by Minnesota, up the boards, and it's knocked away by Preston. Who's going to get on the end of this? First to it is the defender Dupuis. Piper Dupuis up the boards. Sydney Shields stuck up against the wall. Can't move it very far there against Preston. Shields. Volkers. And now Piper Nyberg. Redden for BC. Against the grain, Nyberg will pinch in. Tried to drop that one off. Instead, it's Redden. Redden to Zhang. Zhang on the left wing. Zhang shoots, and it's gobbled up by Eaton once again. Kaylee Eaton standing tall. Now they've got the shots on the correct side. For Team BC up against one for Minnesota. No, they actually still have them wrong. A look behind the nets. Bundy up the wall. Emma Beattie is back for BC. Beattie will play it off the boards. Gave it away, a shot, and it's held by Stanley on the giveaway. This face-off is won backwards by Minnesota, but it actually leaves the zone. Up the near side boards. Bundy there to hold. Zoe Neurer behind the net. Neurer centers, and a swing and a miss in tight. And as they try to move it out, held in by Hardwick. Puck bounces towards Zoe Aluk. Aluk knocked away by Christian. Christian from Minnesota. Behind the net, bothered by Hugh. Christian will bank it off the boards. McDonough one-touch pass in the middle, broken up. Back in comes Bernie. She's upended, no call. Brine in the middle to no one in particular. Prosser will send it in deep. Pass in front off the stick of Violet Stanley. BC looking to clear with Cuttaford. Now Bernie off the wall and touch back. Bundy, Nolander, and Donahue will play it deep for Minnesota. Touched around the boards and ahead for Bliss. Avery Bliss comes in on the left. Forced wide by Donahue, no way through there. Nyberg involved as well as Bernie. Bernie trying to walk out, centering pass is blocked, comes back to Bernie. Bernie to the point. Redden just down and around the boards. That one stays in play, slapped around again, and goes by everybody down the ice into BC territory. Can't call that one icing as it rolls onto the net anyway. Preston. Taken away, and here come BC. Diana Wong played it along for Isla Gunther. Gunther's shot was blocked. Comes back to Redden. Redden knocked down Hardwick. Christian trying to get ahead. It's off some skates and comes back down low into the Minnesota end. Claire Peterson. Couldn't do much with that as it comes all the way down. And do we have icing here? We do, just barely. 7:36 left to go here in the first. Shots are 5-3 for Minnesota. Williams on the face-off. Controls it. Peterson is there. Gunther into the middle, and that'll get by everybody. Prosser now trying to move it out. Prosser in the middle. And it moved out by Neuer. Shot over the net, and Stanley will glove and hold. 7 minutes, 12 seconds left to go. Face off once again in the BC zone. Well, looks like they're going to kick Neuer out of the face-off. And Neuer has it, plays it back. Nyberg takes a shot. Stanley left a big rebound there, following up Prosser. This time Stanley able to hold. 7 minutes left to go in period number 1. Again, no floods between any periods here as we try to stay on pace, on time. Quite a bit behind already. Beatty around the boards. Benzie up the wall, can't get it out. Kept in by Neuer. Neuer, good pass in front. McDonough shot stopped, rebound, and Stanley comes up big there. Off the glass, bouncing along the boards, and it will come back to center. Christian off the bench, trying to elude some of these BC checkers, and now up to McDonough. McDonough broken up by Beatty, and Beatty moves it forward for Zhang. Zhang, Preston, and it comes towards Eaton, pardon me, and Kayla Eaton will cover up. .6:19 left here in period 1. Bliss wins the face-off. Cuttaford has it go by her and back out to center. Now Nolander trying to dangle in. Good play there defensively by Brine. Shields will send it ahead and played in towards Bliss. Poked by her by Ali Zins, and Zins has it on her stick, moves it up the boards. Zins in the middle of the ice now as she takes it back over. Nolander battling for it. Preston all the way across. Minnesota, the middle of the change, and so here comes Brinley Bundy. Bundy will dump it in. Kate Cuttaford up the wall. Cuttaford watched by Hardwick as she drives around the goal. Cuttaford can't get it to you, and now it's Stevens for Minnesota. Stevens for Volkers. Nice move. Volkers back. Stevens shot. Save. Rebound sitting there, and Volkers couldn't clear it away. Volkers in the corner. Tripped up. That's a penalty. First power play of the game goes to Team Minnesota. So Cuttaford will go to the box. Minnesota's power play has Preston, McDonough, Prosser, Christian, and Neuer is going to take up one of the point spots here. Neuer kicks at it, keeps it alive on those far boards. She'll make her way down low behind the net. Zoe Neuer. Neuer has it again through traffic, and it's held on to by Stanley. Minute 39 still to go on the man advantage. Preston, Williams, ready to duel again, and it's controlled by BC, but they can't move it up the boards very far. Maybe another chance here, Dupuis, and finally will get it all the way down the ice.
BC Junior Lady Canucks company goes to number 43.
Neuer, Christian, by head once again, onto the stick of Prosser, or Preston, pardon me. Now McDonough. Redden forced her off the puck. Prosser in to help out. Redden, Prosser still battling. Prosser centers off the side of the net, through the crease out the other side, and Williams will slap it off the boards and all the way down. Eaton. Neuer ahead for Christian. Christian in the middle of the ice off the stick of Zins, and sent right back by Zhang. About 30 seconds left on this power play for Team Minnesota. Pass for Nolander is too far, should be icing, and there's the whistle. 24 seconds left in the Cuttaford minor. 3:35 here in period number 1. Zhang facing off with Zins, and it's controlled by BC, but now Zins has the puck. Played it ahead, Nolander. Zins. Off the boards, Bundy, can she hold it in? She can. Nolander once again down low, final couple of seconds in the Cuttaford penalty. She is coming back onto the ice, so Team Minnesota's 0 for 1 with the power play. Up ahead for Yu. Sienna Yu cut off there nicely by Piper Nyberg, and Nyberg has some space. Nyberg drops. Nolander can't get the shot away as she's knocked down. Brine to the red line and deep. Comes around. Long for Cuttaford. Yu touched it back for Brine. Yu in the corner. Yu out front, one more pass sitting in the crease. Nobody really doing anything with it. Now they score! Swept in by Wang. And it's 1-0 for the BC Junior Lady Canucks. With 2:25 left in this period as Diana Wang gets the first goal of the game. sat there in front of Kayla Eaton. She couldn't make a play on it. And eventually Wang was the one who found it and just knocked it home, giving her squad the 1-0 lead. Beauchamp wins the face-off as it comes back to Cuttaford. Cuttaford's pass, a little bit too far for Zhang, and say that's offside here, so the Canucks have to tag. McDonough will kick it ahead. Bryan. Yu and Peterson getting assists on the Wang goal for Team BC as it's slapped back out to center.
From 8 and 19 at 2:25.
Prosser. McDonough. McDonough's shot, and that one will trickle wide. Gathered up here by Williams for BC. Losing out. Prosser now in front. Comes back to her. To the point. Zins. That shot will rattle off a couple of legs, and Beauchamp will find it. Cuttaford behind the goal. McDonough. Cuttaford now. Just dumps it in. One saved by Eaton. Into the final minute of this opening period. Neuer got upended. Christian. Puck rolled away from her. Now Gunther. Into the middle for Bliss. Bliss tied up. Well defended by Nyberg. Now Neuer striding ahead. Minnesota has numbers here. Neuer. Backhand. That one defended well by Dupuis. 30 seconds in the frame. Redden rings it around the boards. Gunther waiting for it. Little bobble. And Minnesota moves it out with Donahue. She'll give chase. Donahue up against Dupuis. Pass through the middle of the ice will come all the way to Zins. 10 seconds left. It's going to happen. It's got to happen quick for one of these two teams. And it doesn't like we're going to get any more action here in period number 1 as it comes to a close. Just the one goal on the board. Diana Wang. At 2:25 left in the first. The assist to Yu, Sienna Yu, and Claire Peterson as well. Shots 8-7 in favor of BC. Again, no flood here. Second period coming up in about a minute when we return to the War for the Roses in Edmonton on HN Live. Back inside West Edmonton Mall here at the Ice Palace, day one of the 2025 War for the Roses. Continuing coverage here on HN Live, BC and Minnesota. Well, one of the Minnesota teams anyway. This is Team Minnesota. We also have the Minnesota Machine and the State of Hockey, which is also from Minnesota. So if we get them confused throughout the course of this event, it's not our fault. Icing early on here. 14:43 left in period two. Williams going to face off here with Muir. Comes back to Benzie. Minnesota move it out. Charging hard after it is Volkers. That was deflected down into the Minnesota end, and a race for it here. Sienna Yu gets there first. Yu will play it back to the blue line. Drifted down low, broken up. Yu reaching for it. Muir. Stevens. Beatty for BC. Ran into Neuer. Neuer got the worst of that. Canucks still going forward. Zhang out wide, shoots, save. Nice one by Eaton. Behind the net. Played into the corner, and Minnesota have a chance to clear. They're not going to be able to do it though. Palmer Prosser was upended. Slapped around by Bundy. Comes back to the near side. Prosser is there. Flips it up the wall. Cuttaford picked it off. Middle of the ice. Here comes Preston. Preston will sweep it down behind the net. Zhang. Prosser. Here's Shields. Sydney Shields off the boards. McDonough and Nyberg offside. Here against Team Minnesota, just over 2 minutes gone in this second period. 12:57 left if we're being exact. No shots yet for either team in this middle stanza. Cuttaford. That's broken up by McDonough. She was offside as she touched it. Scrum in the skates there on the far side, and eventually Zhang works it to Cuttaford, and here's, 88 is Brine for BC. She's lost the puck. Now it comes out to Prosser. Prosser down for Preston. Preston moves it behind the goal, out to the other corner. That's where Nyberg is, and this one comes all the way back down into the Minnesota end. Christian being chased by Shields. Sydney Shields, little stumble. Christian, now she's lost the puck. Under some pressure, Shields out front, and Brian can't get the shot away. Or Bernie, pardon me. Nolander into the middle, save by Stanley. Christian bothered by Cuttaford. Christian centers, it's in front. Stanley able to scoop that one up as it popped into the glove with 11:42 to go here in the second period. Preston will take the face off here. Wang, the goal scorer, had it knocked away. Beauchamp followed up. Here comes Preston. Oh, a stumble from Dupuis, but she made a really nice play while lying on her back to knock it free. BC busting back in. Bernie had it knocked off her stick. Here's Beauchamp. Volkers, Stevens, Redden. Cross for Dupuis up the boards. Here's Beauchamp now. Wang. And dumped right back in by Volkers. Neither team really able to establish much of anything at the moment. Redden. Dupuis. Broken up by McDonough. Redden behind the net. Redden will move it ahead. With some speed, Bernie trying to get away from the defender. Bernie kicking at it. And Prosser will skate on. Prosser. 2-on-1 maybe. Prosser. McDonough tried to give it back. And it's saved by Stanley on a sharp angle shot. Comes back to the point. Bundy can't move it very far as it's swept ahead by Wang. And it's going to be too far. Icing is going to be whistled here. 10 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. I think I figure out the shot clock now. They're giving shots as saves is what they're doing, which is not confusing in the slightest. Face-off is BC's. Benzie will poke it behind. Around the boards. It's just going to throw off the tournament stats is all I'm thinking. Somebody's going to lose some numbers. Somebody's going to gain some numbers erroneously. As we have 9:52 to go. Offensive zone face-off for Minnesota. Preston is taking, and she wins it cleanly too. Donahue. Block comes back to Christian, and here's Benzie below the goal line. Nyberg ran over Peterson there. It's Minnesota. Tries to get it in front. They do, banging away. Stanley down. Made a couple of good saves before BC gets it down the ice. No icing here. Nyberg is back on it. Christian. Up ahead. Stevens. Back at center. Nyberg again for Minnesota. Played it in. Peterson. Pass goes right to Christian on the other side. Into the offensive zone. Beatty gave that one away. It'll roll down low. Benzie right in front of her net. Able to clear the immediate danger. This is off the skates of Peterson. Zins. Stevens. Benzie knocks it back. Just ping pong back and forth here at the moment. Spin out front from a look and they score! Zoe Look was able to work her way out front, and BC's got a couple now. 2-0 on a nice goal from Zoe Look. Able to spin her way back out in front of the cage and double the BC Junior Lady Canucks lead. 8:32 to go in the second period, and BC is up by a couple. So yeah, and on that one, the shots were 11-7, now they're 11-8. They gave a shot on that BC goal to Minnesota. So figure that out. Preston trying to move this one in. Bliss slows her up. Yu wanted to go back to Cuttaford. It's broken up by Preston. Cuttaford at center. In the middle. Oh, nice move, and it rolls off the stick there of a look. She was looking for her second. Covered up by Kayla Eaton. Avery Bliss, Sienna Yu get the assists on the goal. So Yu has a couple of helpers. Redden tried to knock it down, couldn't. And here comes Nolander. Nolander, what a good defensive play by Dupuis. And she finished off her opponent into the wall too. Dupuis made a couple of really nice defensive efforts for Team BC. Now here's Beauchamp off the wall. Christian trying to hold up play.
Second goal, scored by number 11, Zoe Look, with an assist from number
McDonough,
9,
Hardwick. Sorry, that was Nolander as this one's tipped up. Donahue, Nolander.
Of the second period. BC Junior Lady Canucks second goal, scored by number 11.
Minnesota trying to work this thing out front. Now they do, but nobody's there. Covered up by Stanley. Past the midway mark of this second period. 7:08 to be specific remaining. Ripped around the boards and held in. Hardwick was there. Stevens, leaned on by Beatty. Comes back to Hardwick, reaching for it. Wang in the middle. That was blocked, comes back to Benzie. Benzie and Beatty, the defensive pair for BC at the moment. Now Bernie, not beyond the blue. Beatty again. Try this near side. Wang got tangled up there in the skates of Stevens, and a weak shot is held by Stanley. .6:29 left to go, 2-0 for the Junior Lady Canucks. Second period goal from Zoe Look. McDonough off the face-off, that one stopped and held. Took a couple of seconds off the clock, but not much more. Stanley made another save. Preston, McDonough, Prosser, ready for this offensive zone face-off. Bryan moves that one around for Gunther. Cuttaford. Cuttaford on a dash. Lost it. Bliss is there to follow up. Bliss, couple of moves, and she just stood tall as her defender Christian ran into her. This pass gets through everybody off the stick of Prosser. Up the boards. Bryan back in and offside. Saw her teammates tagging up. Still went a little bit early. So we've got 5:49 to go in this opening period, or sorry, second period. 2-0 for Team BC. Face off on the far side, just in front of the Junior Lady Canucks bench. Looks like there's an offside being called again here. In fact, there is the whistle. So we'll just line everybody up in that exact same spot and do it again. Neuer. Down and around. Bundy pinching. Bundy below the goal line, the defenseman. Nolander up top. Slap shot from Donahue is tipped, and it goes just wide. Far corner. Neuer back for Zins, a lane to shoot. Saved by Stanley. Zins. I want to get through everybody. A look, bumps with Donahue. A look up ahead. Here's Sienna Yu. Yu with a couple of assists. Sent it to the bench. There's a lot of white shirts on the ice, but no penalty called here. Stevens. Dupuis. Off the boards for Elise Williams. Now Christian. Christian Dupuis there once again. Sends it back for Williams. At least Williams cut off. And now Sydney Christian. Adriana Stevens. Dispossessed by Redden for Dupuis. Good feed ahead, but just offside with Shields with 4:13 left to go. So bring the face-off back to where the pass came from. Just in front of the Minnesota bench here. Here's Bundy. Brinley Bundy making a nice move, now centering and stopped up by Stanley. Not cleared. Another shot tipped wide. Bundy will track it down in the near corner. Redden watching closely, just throws her to the ice. Scrum. Puck pops loose for Volkers. Now Redden takes it away. Redden goes back against the grain. Williams up the near side. Bank pass. Hardwick slowed the puck up. Williams following. Preston now. Up ahead. Dupuis. Watched there by Volkers. Dupuis once again. Slows her up. Comes to Shields. Maybe a chance here. Sydney Shields coming in. Shields had it knocked away. Good back check by Hardwick. As Minnesota almost got caught on a really bad change. Stevens drops. McDonough follows and Stanley will gobble it up. That shot right into the Canucks crest. Face-off controlled by the Canucks as it comes around towards Beattie. Bliss for BC. Bliss will play it back for Benzie. Benzie returns it across and it's up ahead for Bernie. Bernie gets through 3-on-1. Bernie back in front. Bliss couldn't get the shot away. Christian defending, so was Maeva McDonough. 2:34 to go, second period. Face off will be to the left of Kayla Eaton. Cuttaford can't hold the zone. Here come Preston and Donahue 2-on-1. Preston, oh, she had a lot of zip on that shot, but couldn't hit the target. Frustrated afterwards. Zinn's trying to make her way forward, not able to do so. Wang stripped by Donahue. Preston fishes it free, moved it back to Hardwick, and this one is going to be icing on Team Minnesota. Just a touch over 2 minutes left in the second period. Again, no flood in the intermissions. We'll just keep right on rolling. Just quick drink break. Back for third period action. Off the boards and maybe a chance for Donahue here. Donahue saved again by Violet Stanley. Donahue went out wide and there was no real good angle there. Donahue again. On the far side, Cuttaford. Cuttaford makes her way ahead. Reaching for that puck. Zinn's off the ball. Zinn's has it come right to her again. She busts right through. Now it's Neuer. Scored! Zoe Neuer with a burst of speed right through the middle. Team Minnesota on the board. It's 2-1. Just dashed right through everybody as Zinn's had knocked it into a big pile. And with 1:23 left to go in the second, it's back to a one-goal game. Team Minnesota on the board now. See what kind of a burst that could give them the rest of the way. Off the boards from Nyberg, and this should be icing. And it will be. 1 minute, 6 seconds left to go. BC now up 2-1. Face off, back down to the left of Eaton. Elise Williams will take against Ali Zins. Zins won it cleanly. Nyberg, though, lost the puck. Here's Redden now. Redden works to the middle, dispossessed by Zins. We're into the final minute, second period now. Stevens loses out. Redden back for Dupuis. Dupuis stretching it ahead. This one gets by everybody, should be icing, and once again, it is 44.9 seconds now left in period 2. Bring that draw back down into the BC zone. Preston will take for Team Minnesota. Off the wall, and I think we've got another icing call here. We do. Just bring everybody back to that same spot. Line them all up again. Took a few seconds off. We're down to 37.1. Once again, Preston and Bliss. Controlled by Minnesota. At the line. That's Bundy. Prosser. Bundy trying to direct it on net. Preston had to take it away, and now McDonough. Maeva McDonough for Preston. Preston, McDonough up for Hardwick. Hardwick shots kicked away, and it almost created a good chance for Prosser. Down to the final 10 seconds or so. It's off the boards from Dupuis. They say no icing. And so that's going to do it here for period number 2. Both teams found the back of the net one time. BC made it 2-0 thanks to the goal from number 11. That's Zoe Aluk. Assists on that one were given to Avery Bliss and also to Sienna Yu. Minnesota got on the board late. Zoe Neurer with the goal. Adriana Stevens, the only assist on that one. So through 2 periods of play, BC Junior Lady Canucks lead Minnesota 2-1. Third period at the War for the Roses in Edmonton coming up in about a minute. Stay with us. Back inside the Ice Palace here, West Edmonton Mall. Third period, BC and Minnesota is underway. 2-1 is the score, BC in front. Coverage of the War for the Roses continuing here on HN Live. This is day 1 of 6. All sorts of action here, 10 games today. Back at center, Redden trying to move this one in. Not able to do so, and Neuer, who has the Minnesota goal, looking for another. Taken down and a penalty. The back official with his arm in the air. So we've got a power play here for Team Minnesota. It'll be their second of the game. 0 for 1 thus far. Redden for hooking. Opportunity here for Team Minnesota to tie the game. Preston, Donahue out there with Nolander, Christian, as well as Neuer. There's a backhander. Nolander tracks it down near corner. Now she's walking out and shooting. Puck squirts away. Opportunity to clear for Bryan. Gets some help from Cuttaford. Cuttaford up ahead for Yu. And Yu will slide it down to the Minnesota end. Christian. Pass was a little bit behind Neuer, but she picks it up in stride. Now Neuer up high, and she might have caught Stanley in the mask. Canucks get a clearance. Minute 15 to go in the man advantage. This bank pass, not great. Williams was there, comes back. Christian steals it away. Christian all the way across. Preston shoots. It's deflected in the middle of the ice, not cleared away. Bundy will walk in and fire, and Stanley makes the save, and she will hold. A little bit of extra pushing and shoving after the fact, and referees have gotten together. Do we have anything out of this? Don't think we do. 53 seconds left in the power play for Minnesota. Faceoff will come outside the zone. Very tangled up off the face-off. Eventually it's thrown back down into the Minnesota zone. About 40 seconds left on a power play for Team Minnesota. They hunt for an equalizer. Volkers in over the blue line. Volkers. Still Volkers. Tried to pass, it was blocked. Bundy again down from her defensive spot, threw it back towards Volkers. She wasn't there, and Beauchamp will get a clearance. Neuer ahead for Volkers. Volkers working with Preston as they try to get back in. Final seconds will tick off the penalty to Redden. She returns. Minnesota 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Nyberg trying to shake off Bliss here. Nyberg will throw it up the boards. Stevens. Pass for Volkers didn't connect, no icing. Zinn's trying to find the loose puck. Up ahead, Nyberg. Nyberg down the wall. Bouncing puck in the middle. Hardwick saved by Stanley. L. Hardwick once again. Pass in the middle was blocked. It does squirt through the crease out the other side for Stevens. Stevens back to the point. McDonough lets it fly, and Stanley will hold once more. Violet Stanley with another stop for the BC Junior Lady Canucks. Face-off will be to her right. Minnesota has been pressuring, pardon me. Hardwick down and around. Prosser tangled up there. Nyberg shoots, blocker save made by Stanley. Cuttaford picks up the puck. A little bit of trouble for Ivy Brine. Brine back on her skates now. Cuttaford trying to settle this puck down. Pressure, and it's stolen. Zins didn't get it through as it hit his skates. Up the wall, Christian can't hold it. Do we have an icing call here? Yes, we do. Just over 4 minutes gone in period number 3, this 1-goal game. Minnesota, the most recent goal, a late second period marker from Zoe Neurer, and she's out there to take the draw. She's got Donahue and Nolander on her wings. Face off the one by BC. Donahue can't get it out of skates. Now in the middle, Nolander was on a knee when she tried to shoot. Bliss dashing the other way. Bliss into the middle. Had it swept away. Cuttaford can't quite hold the zone. Christian all the way across. Good feed. And stumped in by Donahue. She peels off for a change. Nolander stays on to apply the forecheck pressure. Near corner, Zhang for BC. Up the wall, Christian has a jump away from her once again. She has to backtrack. Christian will start forward. Sydney Christian, a long shot, well wide. Off the wall. Preston sweeps it down below the goal line once again. That's where it's picked up by Beattie. Wang got the scoring started. Just fired a blind pass across the ice. Volkers for Minnesota. Beattie for BC. Almost broken up by Stevens. Wang got by one, got by a second. Now Nyberg in trouble. Williams forced out wide. Good back check there. Pass for Volkers from Bundy. Volkers. Beattie in the way. Swept back into the BC zone. Emma Beattie for the Canucks. Up the wall. Burney. Annalyn Burney loses out to Neurer. Neurer dashing in. Neurer around the cage. Couldn't find anybody to pass it to. Eventually threw it to Maeva McDonough, but that one was broken up. Sailor Benzie. She got knocked down. Do we have a penalty here, or is this icing? Nope, we have a penalty. Tripping is the call. And so I believe this will be a BC power play and their very first of the contest. So, BC to the power play. They'll start with Bliss, as well as Avery Brine. Zhang, also on the ice, and Cuttaford, who has it now. Over to Zhang. A look, the fifth player on this group. Zhang to the goal off a stick. Skitters to that far corner. Bliss will claim. 8.5 to go in the third. Bliss fires. Good save, as fighting that one off was Eaton. She's still down here as the puck is up for grabs. Bliss worked it out front. Cuttaford, and the pass didn't connect. Forces her back to center. Cuttaford into the offensive zone. Zhang, a little bit of trouble with the puck in skates. Now it'll pop free for Nolander. Nolander gets ahead, Minnesota. See how aggressive they are on this penalty kill. Still have about 6.5 minutes left once they kill this one off. Well, now we got another penalty here. Slashing is going to be the call. So this BC power play has come to an end, I think. Brine eventually will make her way to the penalty box. So we'll get some 4-on-4 time. Face-off will be down on the BC end to the left of Stanley. Redden. It's off a skate. Nolander. Could she take advantage? Now a defender's lost his stick too, and Nolander had that one saved by Stanley. Nolander centers, comes out front, glove down by Dupuis. Piper Dupuis in over the line. On his left-hand side, Dupuis bothered by Zins. Zins. Dupuis trying to knock it off her stick. Yu takes it away. Yu threw it back, but that one didn't have enough juice on it. Zins up ahead. Volkers is offside. Oh, that close to a breakaway feed. 11 seconds to go in the penalty to Christian. Then it will be about a minute and 3 seconds worth of power play for Team Minnesota. BC wins the face-off. Gunther forced out wide, well defended there by Brinley Bundy. Preston trying to build up some steam. Preston shot off a leg. Power play time for Team Minnesota. Neuer stops up behind her net. Neuer stretches it ahead. Volkers couldn't control, so Beauchamp sends it right back into the Minnesota zone. 35 to go in the power play. Pass ahead is for Prosser. Prosser, Volkers. Volkers. Prosser in tight. Backhand. Saved by Stanley once again. Good work by Violet Stanley in between the pipes for Team BC. One sent all the way down into the Minnesota zone. Touch for the goalie, Eaton. Christian slams one off the boards. Cuttaford was there. Christian again. Bliss back on the ice. Minnesota's 0 for 3 with the power play here. Trailing by 1. 5.5 to go. Serena Beauchamp can't work it out front. Beauchamp still hunting for it. Christian knocks it back to center. Dupuis regrouping here. Minnesota making a change, so Dupuis will glide forward. Piper Dupuis, that one over top of the net. Bounces around in front of the Minnesota bench. Back out to center, kicking at it there was Donahue. Redden. Donahue for Stevens. Walking the line, Nyberg. Slides it down low, it comes into the middle. Zhang for Team BC. Ahead Peterson. Can't clear it out first time. Donahue plays it back in. Comes all the way around. Zhang is there for the Canucks. Nyberg had pinched down. Bliss for BC. Throws on the brakes, comes back up this near side. Still Bliss. Zins. Comes back out to center. BC knock it back in. They tag up. Can resume the forecheck. Nyberg. That pass. Not a bad one. Preston Can she turn and burn around Cuttaford? No, she can't. Cuttaford did really well. Zhang threw it down the length of the ice. Christian will negate the icing. This one all the way up ahead. Bernie loses out. Neuer tried to split the D like she did before. Unsuccessful this time around. Bundy. Pass does get through to Preston. Preston will chip it in. First on it is Brine. Brine goes back up this near side. Held in by Christian. Christian again down towards Brine. Off the boards. Wang a little bit of trouble with it. Now Bernie. McDonough kicking at it. Maeva McDonough gets knocked down. Volker's there as well. Volker's got it to Prosser. Stanley punches it aside. Moved it out to center. Did Williams. Up ahead, Volkers. Hardwick. Volkers. Here's Wang for BC. She's got a goal. Threw it across. Nobody there. Beatty. Off a stick. Glove down and held by the goaltender. Kayla Eaton once again, as we have 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. We'll have to keep an eye on Eaton if she's going to leave the net. Vince Stevens is the head coach for Team Minnesota. I think he has taken his team's timeouts. 30-second timeout here for Minnesota. No goals in this third period for either team. We're still just sitting at 2-1.
30-second timeout called by Team Minnesota.
Two teams just discussing their strategies here for this final little bit of game. Just one game today for Team BC. In action again tomorrow morning. Minnesota, very short turnaround there on the ice again. 5:40 local time today. Now it'll be a little later than that, I'm sure, but it's only about 4 hours from now they're scheduled to be back on the ice. They take on Alberta. Again, the face-off is down in the Minnesota zone. Eaton still in the net. Minnesota trying to get this thing out so they can get the puck in the offensive end, maybe get the goalie out for the extra attacker here. Does come to center, tipped in by Neuer, and there goes Eaton to the bench. Extra attacker comes on. Minute and a half to go, 6-on-5 now. Minnesota looking for an equalizer. They go back to the point. Nyberg drifts it in. That one was blocked on the way. I think it hit one of the Minnesota players, actually. Preston plays it back. It's off a skate of Donahue. Redden off the wall. And cleared down the ice by Yu. That's going to be icing, though, with 1 minute and 1 second left to play here. Opening game for both teams. This year's War for the Roses. Goalie stays out for Team Minnesota. Neuer and Blake Bliss in the face-off dot. Controlled by Minnesota. Not cleared. BC had a chance. Nearer shoots. Stanley the save. And she's got it and holds on. Violet Stanley's been very good for Team BC. Holding Minnesota to just the one goal so far. New face-off person needed for the Junior Lady Canucks. McDonough. That shot was blocked by Bliss. Good play. Bliss going for the empty net. Off the post. Oh, we're not done yet. Bundy hustles back. Bundy forcing her way forward. She does well. Prosser up ahead, but offside. Whistled against Donahue. 27.5 seconds to go. Cuttaford under pressure, gets some help, but now it's sent ahead by Benzie. Back to center. Dump in, hit the official. Could be last chance saloon here for Team Minnesota. McDonough trying to bust in. Slapped away, back to center. Only got 5 seconds left. Christian taken away. Beauchamp down the ice. That's going to do it. Team BC wins their opening game 2-1 here at the War for the Roses as they knock off Team Minnesota. Good performance by Team BC to open up this event. We have our 3 stars, of course, still to come. No goals in that third period to tell you about. A couple of points for you to lead the way for Team BC. The two teams will shake hands. Again, Minnesota, their next game later today, 5:40 against Team Alberta. For BC, it'll be tomorrow 10:35 local time. That's 9:35 Pacific when they take on Team Saskatchewan. Next game will be Connecticut and the hosts. The Alberta Warriors will take to the ice for the very first time at this year's War for the Roses. So if you thought that Minnesota had a quick turnaround with a 5:40 game, Alberta's going to play the next game, and then they're going to play Minnesota at 5:40. So a very short turnaround for the host team. Team BC celebrating their victory here, and they will get the rest of the afternoon and the evening off. They'll be busy tomorrow. Our extended War for the Roses, expanded I should say maybe, now up to 15 teams. Again, our next game is Connecticut and Alberta. Our in-house announcer Marty is getting ready for the 3 stars, just waiting for the BC Junior Lady Canucks to clear the ice. And now we'll throw it to Marty for our 3 stars.
Stars for today's game between Team Minnesota and the BC Junior Lady Canucks. Today's third star. Today's third star from Team Minnesota, number 8, Zoe Miller. Today's second star from the BC Junior Lady Canucks, number 8, Sienna Yu. And today's first star from the BC Junior Lady Canucks, number 30, Violet Stanley.
There are your 3 stars of the game. Violet Stanley, the number 1 star for the BC Junior Lady Canucks. Again, next game, the Alberta Warriors and the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Coming up in about 15 minutes as our coverage of the 2025 War for the Roses on HN Live continues at the West Edmonton Mall Ice Palace. Stay with us.